that and switch the scene. Whoa. Hello everybody, welcome into Tuesday, April 9th. I'm the Echo. I just turned the Echo off. It verifies that the audio is going out. Ken Live with the Zoom homies with Ken Live. We already have William, Rich, Sam, Greg, Jeff, and Sin with us. And obviously some of us are poking fun at yesterday's events of the eclipse. I did watch Doug's show from yesterday. Sometimes he just doesn't realize a lot of what I say I'm saying in humor. Can't believe he actually took me serious when I said that the sun's passing in front of the moon. I thought for sure he would catch on to that, but anyway, it's good to be back. Bring you guys up to date. Mom is okay. Mom is at home. Had a heart doctor appointment today, and they just changed her medications around. They seem to want to think her heart's just not working the way that it should. I don't know. I've always believed and thought and was taught that a stroke is caused due to a blood clot in the vessels that don't allow blood to get to the brain, thus causing a stroke. Mm-hmm. Possibly that's changing. Like I was telling the guys earlier on Zoom, I guess if your heart's not pumping properly, I could see where that would be a factor in the fact that if you were to get a blood clot between your heart and your brain, that could have some, effect on it. The good news is she's home resting. She has no recollection whatsoever of it. She also has no recollection of the eclipse, but she has no recollection of the stroke either. So,
that
which is good.
Be a bad thing if she's more or less okay at this point.
Right. This is an image I took off of Google searches. I do have some from people that were there taking pictures, and some of the people there got some really good pictures of the eclipse, and again, some of them, me, did not. I could not master holding the phone and putting the glass lens over the camera lens to get the picture. I just gave up on it. So it was cool. It was pretty interesting to watch. I'm kind of glad we went down there now. I couldn't believe there was a 7-degree temperature in the air from when the sun was out to when the eclipse was totality. 7 degrees, and it was almost instantaneous too. I mean, it was really interesting to watch. It's kind of getting darker and darker and darker, and then it just seemed like all of a sudden, man, it was dark. I mean, it was eerily quiet. I seen one bird fly during the totality, and you could tell that bird was lost because he was like going from tree to house to tree to house to tree to house. He's like, what in the Sam hell is going on here? You could just tell he was messed up. But it was so quiet. And then after that, we all departed to go spend the afternoon and evening with Mom at the hospital. What else? About it. Today was just a day of rest and relaxation. Good news is, she's with us still, and she don't remember nothing, so that's good. I'll be glad when I get to that. Anyway, let me go catch up with chat. Terry Go Home was first. I don't know that this is going to work. It looks like it is not going to work. Oh, there it is. It's a little late. Followed by Alice. She says she hopes everything's okay and best wishes. Thank you, Alice. Followed by Darren. Followed by Alice. Followed by you guys seem to be having back and forth conversation there going, now I'm going to see, this thing may not work. In fact, it looks like it's not going to work. I posted a link in chat tonight that Tim Soul, our good friend out in Fresno, California, sent to me of a guy that in a private plane went up and has a perspective of the eclipse from in the air. Really, really interesting video. I highly recommend you check it out. I posted that at 9:52 my time. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get this thing to work, which it's always something. I can never set this up and it stays the way I want it to. I never got the clocks to work today. They were giving me fits. Greg says he's sixth place. He's slipping, cleaning behind the couch, and then painted. There we go. That showed up. Getting ready for dinner. Who's buying? We had Walmart thin crust bacon something pizza. It was good. I liked it. We bought all kinds of stuff to cook for dinner, and as we were walking to the register, she's past the pizza place, and she says, "Why don't we have pizza tonight?" I don't care what we have. That's fine. It turned out to be pretty good. I seen a lady actually broke the Walmart checkout aisle today, and I don't know what she did with her card, but they actually had everybody that was in line move from aisle 19 to aisle 20, and I was impressed with Walmart. They, instead of coming out and saying everybody in this aisle move to that aisle, which would have caused problems because everybody behind everybody would try to beat everybody over there, they did it. They said, in the order that you are in, move to aisle 20. So that put us second. The guy in front of us had one thing. I was impressed with that. The bad thing was we had 90% of our stuff already up on the conveyor belt because we were second in line. He had one item. Did you eat it right out of the oven? No, Chris, I did not. I am not like Alex. I did not take it straight out of the oven. We did allow it to cool down just a little bit. Speaking of Alex, they had some severe weather forecasted in his area today, but when I asked him about it, he said he didn't know and he did not care. Chris is saying registers go crazy. You should see them all. Yeah, I would not want to see all the registers go down at one time. I don't think it was the register. I think it was an issue with either her PIN number or her account in itself. I don't know. I think you have a limit as to how many times you can try things. I don't know. They didn't ask for my professional help, so oh well. Yesterday was so disappointing. It was quiet during that. I do have to admit. Oh, and before I forget, I got an email the other night because apparently at the same moment I ended the show, somebody put a comment into chat. And I did not acknowledge said person in chat. I have since lost a few subscribers, and that is fine. I try my best to keep up with chat. I have chat window popped out. I have it in front of me. I have chat on the monitoring screen. So between the two, I think I do a relatively good job of keeping up with who's in chat. If you show up after the stream ends, and we all know across the board, there's about a 2-minute time frame that you can actually put chat into a live stream after it's ended. 2 to 3 minutes. And if that happens and I don't acknowledge your chat, I will see it and acknowledge it the next day, except in this case. Okay? I'm not acknowledging who this person is. They know who they are. They've unsubbed. That's fine. I don't care. I really do not care. That's that point of view. The other thing about YouTube is I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid. I got a thing from him telling me I will get a check between the 21st and 26th of this month. So it takes a while for it to process, apparently 9 days. I'm hoping I get the opportunity or the chance to put it into a direct deposit type of thing because I really don't want to have to run to the credit union if it stays consistent like it seems like it's going to be.
I would think that would be in YouTube's interest to do it by ACH, as they call it.
I would think so too. I really would. But as of right now, I got the notification I'm getting paid, and it says your check will arrive between the 21st and 26th of April. That's the good news. The bad news is I've cut vacation short. I plan on being back in Indiana on the 21st. And we'll pick vacation back up on the 26th. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but, and by the way, Mrs. K does not know this about the vacation. Yes, Jim says, more money, more money. Do what, Jeff?
She might be listening tonight.
She's not. She's watching Korean TV.
Oh.
We've had a little bit of a disagreement this evening. I said I told her when I laid down I would like to have dinner about 10 minutes till 8. I can eat, watch the FBI show that I like. It's over at 9. Come in here and do the stream. Go back and watch the one at 10 o'clock. That plan never took place because at 8:33, Mrs. K comes in and says, "Wake up, it's time to eat dinner." I don't know it's 8:33 at this time. I'm just waking up. You can imagine my dismay when I seen the clock say 8:33. Chris Garrett comes in with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. That should pop up on the screen here in just a moment. I appreciate that more than mere thank you will ever be able to convey.
You're welcome.
I do appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, Tim, it's been a long while. It's good to see you in chat as well. Long Dog's in chat as well.
What did Jim mean?
We can discuss that afterwards. I did see. Go ahead, John. I did see John Williams was there. He says, "Glad to hear Mom is doing better." Yeah. It is good that she's home, and it is a good thing she doesn't remember. It really is. I can't imagine what it would be like to go through something like that, and then to have memories of going through something like that. Now, that's not to say tomorrow or the next day she might not remember it, because she just may. But as of today, there's no memory of it whatsoever. In fact, she's back to her stubborn, grumpy, "Did you see that?" self. And all of you that know what's going on with that, I by no means am not being mean about that whatsoever. I myself am starting to hallucinate. What? Tell them what? I'm doing a live show here. Can you talk to me later? Okay, I'm back.
By the way, I found out when the Beatles Love Show started, 2006.
18-year run?
18-year run.
Wow.
George Harrison was the one of the Beatles that actually helped get it started, according to this article.
When did George Harrison pass away?
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah, I thought it was before 2006, but
anyway, he was friends with the guy who created Cirque du Soleil. And this is the only Grammy award-winning soundtrack that Cirque du Soleil's ever had.
Really? We've seen...
So it's a good deal for both of them.
We've seen, I believe, I want to say 4 or 5 of those. And the only one I'm going to see twice will be Beatles Love.
Yeah, it said the soundtrack was produced and mixed by the Beatles' original producer, George Martin.
I thought he kind of was gone a while back as well.
Well, he may have been. I mean, that's been a while back since they won the award.
Right.
But it says at one time or another, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Yoko Ono, Lennon, and Olivia Harrison, I guess that's George Harrison's wife, have shown up at the shows.
Our crackpot tech staff comes through with George Harrison died in 2001. Thank you, Winter Mute. He's always on the ball with facts that none of us old people seem to remember.
Who's old? I don't even remember who's old.
How about aged well? Let's go with aged well.
Question is, do you age like fine wine or age like milk?
Tim, I will look into that. I have no idea. I've made so many changes to the clock. I will check that out right after the stream ends this evening. That part I do know how to do. The only thing I don't know how to do is I have no clue how to change the face of the clock whatsoever. And I've actually brought it up and looked at it, and I'm like, I don't figure the clocks out. But that's why I have the crackpot tech staff that I have. And if I say something to the effect of, can we change the face of a clock, he's right on it. John Williams said he took care of his mother-in-law. Yeah, I've said this before, and I will say it again. It's different when it's a family member. It really is. I can't put it to words on how to explain that. In all my years of nursing, and in all years Mrs. K's been nursing, and she still is nursing, it's different. It is so different. The one thing my sister did do when she called the ambulance, she said, I do have 3 medical personnel here that are in the family. We're taking care of her, but we need to get the ambulance here. We need to get her to the hospital. And they started asking stupid stuff like, well, what's the color of her hair? What's the color of her eyes? When was the last time she ate? Not quite that drastically dumb, but they were just dumb questions. You know, you've got a family member that's in dire need of medical help, and you're asking off-the-wall stupid questions. Get the ambulance there. We'll worry about that stuff later.
I can see asking when she ate, maybe, but the other stuff, I mean.
Yeah. Well, it was a combination of when we got there for the picnic, viewing, whatever you want to call it, my mom was sitting out in the direct heat of the sun. Okay? Not exactly the smartest thing to do with anyone in their 80s. Okay? You could just tell by her demeanor she was not happy sitting in the sun. And then when it came time to reposition to see it, by then it was too late. She was already to the point where instead of pushing her, when she stood up, that was it. That's, I believe, what caused it. So, good news, she's home. Hello, Alex. You are only 17 minutes late today.
I'm sorry. But to add to your comment on what you were just saying, that's why my mom went to my grandma's yesterday by herself. We stayed here was because she didn't want her to accident. She didn't want her to walk outside and realize and wonder what's going on and look up at something and damage her eyes or anything. So
yeah. Well, they say that during the totality of the eclipse, you can look directly at it. Okay. Now, I have no idea. I did not test that theory. I will say this: those glasses, when you put them on, you cannot see anything past the glasses in normal light. If you look up at the sun, you can see the sun, or you can see the moon inching across it, but you couldn't see anything. I couldn't believe that the state of Indiana put out a warning to not drive wearing your eclipse sunglasses. Now, if you can imagine closing your eyes, that's exactly how dark it is. So it would be like you close your eyes, you get in a car, you think you put the garage door up, and you drive forward. You really got to tell people not to wear these glasses?
Yeah, people are that dumb sometimes.
Well, I could kind of see, I could see a little bit above and below where the glasses were. But where the glasses were, I could not see a thing. So I could not drive, my wheelchair around while wearing the glasses, without moving the glasses on top of my head.
Unfortunately, there are some people who need that warning.
Apparently there are, because...
Well, I mean, this is like the people who dump hot coffee in their lap at McDonald's. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I had one little incident with it. I was very diligent. I had a hat on, and I put the glasses on, and I'd make sure the hat was down, and I would look up and go from that. And I tell you, I was moved a little bit when I seen, okay, here's the bright half of the sun, and you got this little part of the moon coming to it. Then during the totality, I never did look directly at it without the glasses. But there was one time when someone said, oh, look, the moon's moving away. I didn't quite get the glasses up to my eyes in time, and I saw a very, very bright light. And I thought, oh, crap, I just made myself blind, but I seem to be okay. So I would really wish you guys would stop moving, though, because, it's really messing with my head.
Well, here in town, here in Sheridan, we didn't get full totality. You have to drive like 30 minutes to get full totality, but it got dark enough that the street lights started coming on.
Yeah, all the light. That was the other cool thing is it got dark, and then all of a sudden, all the automatic lights in the neighborhood popped on. That was pretty impressive as well. That and the 7-degree temperature and change. We have a viewer who wants to know, Alex, did your speed test diminish at all during the eclipse?
No, but I was outside, so how would I know?
You can't check your internet speed outside?
Yes, but it's kind of hard to look at the phone when you got the glasses on and you're looking up at the sky. Um,
Yeah, that's why you take the glasses off to look at the internet speed. I I found these special glasses, and I was so tempted to use them.
and our neighbors,
Rock and
our
Roll
neighbors,
Hall of Fame coaster.
our neighbors
It's-
came out just as it. Our neighbors came outside just as it was happening, and they almost, according to how my dad reacted, they were going to try to look up at it without glasses. So he hollered to them and said, "Y'all need glasses? I got a couple more pairs. Don't look
I'm
up at it
surprised
without."
there haven't been reports of a lot of people that have gone to the hospitals with damaged eyes because they forgot to have glasses on or didn't have the right glasses. I believe the next total eclipse is 2044. I heard somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too, and I did a little bit of math, and and I'll be 50 by the next time the
Yeah, I will
solar
be
eclipse
if
happens
it's
again.
right at 20 years. I'll be 84. My mom's 80. Will be 86 in July. So maybe I can be the one the grandkids throw out in the middle of the yard and go, "Let's let Grandpa burn."
That's what my that's what my dad said. He'll be 80. He'll be 86.
Yep.
I'll be 70.
You'll be 80, Chris.
70.
70. Yeah, you'll be around. Yeah, Jim says he could be dead by then.
So when's the next one again?
I heard 2044 is what I heard.
Well,
I
shit,
have
I'll
not been.
be- Pardon me. If I'm here, I'll be 97.
We could have a Zoom homies get together somewhere at a nursing home and watch the.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that,
Who in the hell are the Zoom homies?
when we went to my brother's, we went over the hills and through the woods and all that good stuff, and we passed her old place of employment, and they had probably 30 people sitting out in the lawn to look at the sun, and we both said at the same time, that's not the brightest thing in the world, no pun intended, that's not the brightest thing in the world to do because half of those people can't understand what you're telling them to do. So put your glasses on. What's that? Take my glasses off. I could just see the horror in that. But it was. I'm glad I went. I really am. I mean, I know I said for a while I had no interest in it. I'm glad I was talked into going, and I'm glad it was that we participated in it. We'll see what happens on the next one.
I was under the assumption that the schools were not going to be out here, but turns out Sheridan schools were out. But the teachers still had to. The teachers still had to go. The teachers had to
Really?
go to work, but the students weren't there.
Wow. All the schools here in Indiana, teachers included, were all closed.
One of my former history teacher, he posted a picture of a bunch of teachers and him going on loading up on a school bus and driving over to one of the schools to see it, but um no students were there.
Those schools are going to quit.
Imagine
Yes.
schools didn't want to have any liability issues with having their students and
They-
anything.
One of my biggest memories of high school was the one day that there was snow falling on the ground. They got everybody. They got me. They rode me around, picked up everybody, then finally got me to school. Almost got me unloaded off the lift, and then they said, then the bus people called and said, everybody turn around, take them back home. They did that for the snow. They almost let us go to school for the snow, in the snow that day, but they won't keep school in session for the eclipse. But that was like 11 years ago, 12 years ago about that.
Tim put a comment in chat that it's kind of dumb here in Fresno. All the schools went outside, but they had a partial eclipse. I would have liked to have seen some pictures and reports of what the people that weren't in the path, how it affected their area. I can't speak for myself because we were directly in the path, and I guess there were better places than where we were at to watch it. I can't see where it would be any different because when it was dark, it was dark. Now, it seemed to me like it took longer for the full sun to come back out as it did for the sun to go down. Or not go down, but get covered up. Not that I sat there and was timing it, to the second or anything, but I wasn't. The golf course closed. She closed between 2 and 4 so that she could enjoy the eclipse, which wouldn't have helped me with my theory originally to go hit the RGB golf balls.
Did she open back up? Did she open back up after 4?
Yeah, she opened back up after 4. Yes. 2 o'clock she closed. 4 o'clock she opened. I did play golf yesterday morning. I did win. I won by 5 strokes. I had a horrible game. Unfortunately, Jake had a worse game than I had. I had 1 par. Anybody want to buy a slightly used set of golf clubs and a golf cart and about 1,000 golf balls? Sell it to you cheap. I'll pay for shipping.
That's what people here on Facebook were already trying to sell their eclipse glasses under the pretense that they were only used for 5 minutes.
So you got a pair of free glasses and you're trying to sell them. Okay.
No, they were the plastic ones, not the cardboard paper ones.
Oh, so okay. Wintermeat drops us a link, and that link is to Sam's. Yeah, poor Sam. Were you in the path at all? Oh, look, I like that. How did you do that? How did you put yourself behind yourself?
2 cameras.
You have a green screen?
Yeah. We've always had a green screen.
Oh, I didn't know you had a green screen.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back to Sam, it was cloudy there, and man, I felt sorry for him.
It's okay.
We had beautiful sunshiny weather here, not to rub it in or anything. Did I tell you how sunshiny it was here yesterday? Yeah, going back to golf, I'm about to just give up on this game. I got 1 par. The first hole, 65 yards. It took me 7 shots to get that. And I came really close to walking back in the clubhouse and saying, keep my money, give me a rain check. I'm going home. This is crazy. But I finally did get better. I had 1-8. I'm so happy. The water hole, the big lake hole, the 239 yard over the lake. I hit my drive. I'm sitting smack dab in the middle of the fairway. Couldn't have asked for a better shot. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Don't let me interrupt you.
I was just going to say I've got about 2 weeks now until my surgery day. 2 weeks from tomorrow. And if there's one thing I'm looking forward to about it, it's that I'm looking forward to possibly not having to go to bed that night because we're gonna have to get up. We're gonna have to get up so early anyway to get there early. So I was thinking, maybe I could sleep in just a little bit later Wednesday morning and not have to go to bed Tuesday night.
What time do you have to be at the hospital on Wednesday?
At like 5 in the morning.
No, I suggest you try to get a little bit of rest because you need the rest. You don't want to You don't want to put yourself under any more stress than you have to. And if you stay up all night, your body's going to be stressed. And you don't want that. You really don't want that. But way to get me off my subject of talking about golf, because now I forgot where I was going with that. Josh Kenner joins us in chat in Zoom. Hello, Ghetto.
What's up?
Well, depending on what day it is and what time of the day it is and whether you believe that the sun's going in front of the moon or not, could be the sun, could be the moon.
How's your mom?
She's good. Thank you for asking. She is good. John Williams says, I should try bowling. Easier to find the ball. I used to be a vivid bowler. I used to have bowling balls. I don't think I could bowl right now. If someone were to put $1 million in front of me and say, roll a strike and I'll give you $1 million, I probably would not get that money. I would like to teach Mrs. K how to bowl because she's never bowled in her life. But I just don't think I could do it. Do what, Chris?
You ever played pool?
I used to shoot pool. I used to hustle pool when I was younger. Yes, been down that road. Not the smartest move in my life, but I enjoyed it until had a Leonard Skinner moment, and you guys can figure that out. 10:32. I want to thank everyone on YouTube. Now, if you put a comment on that you were here later, oh, and by the way, don't send me a picture of my thumbnail saying you were here, because I take pictures of thumbnails and saying, I was on your stream. Well, I just took a picture of the thumbnail. That don't mean you were there. You want to prove you're on the stream, take a picture of chat where you put something in chat, and then I know you're on the stream. Again, I don't really care.
Did you get my donation last night?
I did actually see that afterwards. That was at the beginning, and I intended to do a stream last night. I thought I could get through it. I knew I couldn't. And rather than try to sit here for 30 minutes and twiddle our thumbs and think of conversation, I just figured it best to let you guys know what was going on and go try to rest. I did not sleep at all last night. I didn't go to sleep until about 8 o'clock this morning. And Mrs. K left work early, by the way. I picked her up a little bit before 6, and we came home, had a little bit of breakfast, and I could not sleep. And I finally, everything caught up to me about 8 o'clock. So hopefully things are about back to normal. We've got rain predicted here for the next 22 days. So there will be no golfing, which is good. A vivid bowler suggests your language is colorful when you miss a spare.
22 days is a little bit exaggerated, or is that really what the forecast shows?
I believe it is saying we have a 90% chance of rain for the next 7 days for sure, and I don't know about the 22 days because as of the 19th, I don't care what it does in Indiana. They can have another eclipse. They can have 13 feet of snow. I don't care because I don't plan on being here. I'm going to be out gallivanting across the country. And no, I'm not going through Arkansas, so don't ask. Going California.
So you're still going on your trip then?
Oh yeah, we're still going on the trip. The only way, knock on wood, whatever you want to call it, we do not go on the vacation, and even at that it would be postponed to a different time, is if my mom were to unfortunately pass away, then we clearly would not be going on vacation. I may be mean, and I may be just considered I don't know what the word I can use, family friendly is, but I'm not that mean, and I'm not that type of person. B.A. Stringer says, a vivid bowler suggests the language was colorful when I missed a spare. Oh, yes, my language was colorful. Very colorful. So, I'm going to end. I just want to give the generic thank you to everybody on YouTube. Chris, again, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel in the super chat. You have no idea what that means to me. And I'm going to start putting back to the community the money. The first one, I already know what I'm going to do with it, and it will be part of the vacation. There are going to be homies on vacation that are going to benefit from the channel. And that's all I got to say about that. So as soon as I find the right button, which has got to be around here somewhere, one of these days my IT person in Arkansas is going to get my Stream Deck hooked back up for me. But oh wait, that's probably not going to happen for another 20 years.